Okay, we're going to go to work. So everybody mute who can. The rest of you, you know the drill.
I have to log back in trying to.
Minimize your sneezing too and coughing. Okay, it's Tuesday morning, so it's time for another Tai Chi class, courtesy of Township of Montclair, Katie York and her colleagues. I'm very grateful that we have this opportunity, and it's really nice to see everybody again. Keep in mind that sooner or later, things will be back to a normal situation, at least somewhat normal. We don't know about the sizes of classes or any of that, but we'll come out the other side. It'll be okay. Meanwhile, we're here to practice traditional Yang style Tai Chi Chuan, courtesy of Grandmaster Bo Sim Mark, and we're practicing the 12th posture taste of Tai Chi. If there are any new faces in the crowd today, it's going to be a bit confusing, but it's really good for you. So it's a good idea to hang in there and try to figure out what's going on. It is complicated. There is a lot to do, but bottom line, it's just choreography. Just like learning the hokey pokey, you got to learn when to do stuff and when not. The stuff that we do is basically centered around what you do with your feet. We do move a lot. We're going back and forth and side to side and returning and things like that. And how you move your feet really does determine whether or not you can get the rest of it done. Concerning your feet, there's a place on the bottom of your foot that we call the bubbling well. It's about halfway between your toes and your heel and halfway between the side to side situation. That's a place that's really the geographic center of the weight distribution of your body on the bottom of your foot. And if you put your weight there, you can do other stuff with your body and still be pretty balanced for a while. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Okay, before we get busy, we're going to do some exercises and we're going to bow in. So let's take care of that right now. The first posture that you learn is called the Wuji position. So your head is going to be upright. Your chin will be tucked toward your body. Your shoulders are going to be relaxed and rounded forward. Tuck your tailbone, bend your knees, and check to see that your feet are close together with all your toes pointed in the same direction. That's the Wuji position. The first official thing that we're going to do is to bow in. Your left hand becomes a willow palm. Your right hand becomes a fist. Your left foot is put forward in a point step. That means there's no weight on that foot and the heel is off the floor. Now fold your left hand over your right fist. Keep your eyes up as you bow. We're in business. We'll do that again at the end of the class. It's an old tradition. I'm an old traditional martial artist, so we're going to do it. Meanwhile, we're going to start with some exercises. These exercises are meant to work on your ligaments and your tendons, your connective tissues in your body. We don't care about building muscle mass. There's gymnasiums all over the place to help you do that. We're concerned about range of motion, ease of motion, posture, flexibility, all kinds of other stuff. So, first exercise, we're going to do something called swinging arms, but we got to get into the position. Start by shifting your weight onto the left side and sinking. Make sure you relax your shoulders. Pick up your right heel just a little bit and check your balance. If the balance is all right, pick up the knee, move the foot over a little bit and touch the floor. Lower the heel a bit, push it out to the side to straighten that foot. Now center your weight and sink. Okay, you're going to start by turning your body to the right, to the left, and repeat. How fast you do this is dependent on you. You can do it as quick or as slow as you please, but keep your knees bent, keep your shoulders relaxed, and don't try to control your arms. If you take a look over your shoulder in the direction that you're turning, it's going to work a little bit better. Okay. While we're out here with our feet separated, we're going to do my favorite stretch. It's called Touch the Earth and Hold the Sky. It's got 6 steps. Number 1, bend the knees a little extra. Lightly interlace your fingers out in front of your body. 2, keep your knees bent, turn the palms up and push enthusiastically toward the ceiling. 3, keep your knees bent, go up on the front half of your feet and stay there. 4, keep your knees bent, push down with your right palm, push up with your left. 5, keep your knees bent, bring the top hand down, point all your fingers forward. Now lift the fingertips and push back with your wrists. 6, ease down and relax. 1, 2, 3, and hold it. Number 4, this time your left hand pushes down, right hand pushes up. 5, top hand down, point your fingers forward, lift the fingertips and push back. 6, relax. 1, 2, 3, and hold it. Right push, pushing back, down. 1 more. 1, 2, 3. Left push, pushing back, and down. My favorite stretch. Also, while our feet are separated like this, we're going to do some tiger stretches. Your hands can be out in front or they can be on your hips. Take your pick. I like to spread my feet out just a little bit further to get a little more stretch. So your knees are nice and bent, your tailbone is nice and tucked. You're going to shift your weight to the right side and sink. And pick up your left toes and turn them out. Shift your weight and sink. Shift back, turn the toes front. Shift left and sink. Pick up the right toes, turn them out. Shift over there, sink again. Shift and pivot, shift and sink. Turn the toes out, shift and sink. Shift and pivot, shift and sink. Turn the toes out, shift and sink. Shift and pivot, shift and sink. Turn the toes out, shift and sink. Shift, turn the toes to the front, stand up and relax. Okay, let's do some double knee circles. Feet are going to be nice and close together. You're going to sink and find your kneecaps. 15 rotations in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If your knees are tired after you do those, you need to do more of them. The quadricep muscle group up on top of your knee gets a little fatigued. You just need to condition it up just a little bit. Okay, finally, we're going to do 2 minutes of standing post. Feet are nice and wide. Tuck your tailbone, bend your knees, relax your shoulders. Hands out in front. 2 minutes of uninterrupted relaxation. One minute. Thirty seconds. Fifteen seconds. And hands down. Okay, so much for the exercises. Let me remind you that I am available via email. You can go to my website and contact me through that. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, don't hesitate. Also, I tend to get on here early, so if you have any questions that you remember the day of, then you can certainly ask me before we get the class going. Okay, so the last 2 weeks we've worked on, well, the first week we did the first 3 postures, the second week we did the second 3 postures. So we're going to introduce the third series of 3, numbers 7, 8, and 9, but we're going to do the whole thing first. Okay, so I'm going to announce the name of each posture, then the numbers that are involved in each posture as a kind of a cue for you to do certain things. Your job is to match up the numbers with the movements. Not at all easy, but it makes it much more functional in terms of your timing, in terms of the flow of the movement, things like that. Something else, don't forget to breathe. Your breathing should be long and slow and deep, preferably through your nose, using your stomach as your prime mover for your lungs. It's called diaphragmatic breathing, and it is more functional than breathing with your upper chest like we used to do it. Are you ready? Yes, you're ready. Muji positions, please. Preparation. 1, 2. Initiation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grasping the bird's tail right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn the left toes. 8, 9, 10. Single whip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave hands like clouds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Brush knee and push. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the right toes. 5. Hands strum the lute. 1, 2, 3. Step back and repulse the monkey. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Deflect, intercept, and punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shutting the door. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crossing hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Conclusion. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Some of it anyway. Keep in mind that we spend all our time shifting our weight and turning our bodies. And when you turn, it's very important that you have set your feet up correctly. When you're going to step out to turn, you can't just step sideways. Doesn't work. Because what happens when you shift your weight and turn your body, your feet are too narrowly planted. It's like you're standing on the edge of a 2x4 or on one railroad track with both feet. So when you step, you have to step behind yourself before you shift your weight and turn your body. You want to end up with a space between your heels that approximates the width of your hips. Okay, that's about ideal. Plus or minus an inch or two isn't going to make any difference, but you do need to have that separation. So please pay attention to that. So let's take a look at the first 6 postures that we practiced the last 2 weeks, and then we'll move on. So first there was preparation, initiation, grasping the bird's tail to the right. Step back. Invert. Drag. Release. Prepare to press. Press. Pull down. Push. Wave hands like clouds. Excuse me. Single whip. 1, 2, make your hook. 3, step to the side. 4, shift the weight and guard the face. 5, pick up your right toes, turn the body, pull the hand in, turn the hand and push. Wave hands like clouds. And 1, make sure you turn your toes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So far, so good? Okay, brush knee and push. 1, 2. Step to the side. 4, 5. So far, so good? Let's do it all nice and smoothly, those first 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Just a reminder, if you want to take a look on my website at the videos of these, it's a good idea to just study one posture at a time. Don't try to get the whole thing under your belt quickly. It isn't going to happen. It's much more functional to study one posture, watch it, do it, watch it, do it a bunch of times until you're satisfied, and then move on to another posture. In my experience, and everybody that I talk to pretty much, it's the transitions between the postures that cause you the most trouble. That's going to be especially true when you go on to the next set of postures, the 24 posture. How you get from one posture to another makes a big, big difference. Okay. So last thing we did was brush knee and push. So we ended up looking like this. Next up is hands strum the lute. So number 1, you shift your weight forward, turn the right palm up. 2, shift your weight back, pick up your left heel, bring the left hand up to replace the right hand, bring the right hand back close to your body. Your weight at this point is on your bubbling well. Everything should be on the right side. Next, pick up the 2 hands in the flick, point the toes and fingers up, bring the heel down, bring your right hand close to the left forearm, and your fingers are pretty much pointing up. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That doesn't seem like there's a lot going on, but it is a little complex anyway, especially because of the weight distribution. What's really going on there? You're reaching forward to intercept the punch. We do it in the form with the palm of our hand, okay? But in reality, you would be using the tiger's mouth part of your hand, okay? So what you're doing, you're reaching up, grabbing the wrist, shifting your weight back and sinking and grabbing the elbow just above grabbing the arm just above the elbow with the other hand. Then what you're doing is raising that person up a little bit, using your hands as a lever, and then pulling them down very quickly. The idea is to bring them toward the floor or the street or wherever very, very quickly, forehead first. Okay, you're bringing their face into the dirt at a high rate of speed. So looking at it again, it's just 1, 2, 3. The way that you end up is with all your weight on the left, the heel is on the floor, but it hasn't got any weight on it. So again, 1, 2, 3. So far, so good? I hope so. Okay, next up, step back and repulse the monkey. What's going on there, like all of the stuff that we do, is a self-defense maneuver. What's going on? Well, there's stuff going on that we haven't really showed you, because by the time we get out here, we've already done stuff. So what happens is we're in this position. We push the arm out here and bring the other hand that you can't see right next to the hip. So your right hand is extended 90%, the elbow's still got a little bend to it, and your left hand is touching your left hip bone. Number 2, sink a little bit, turn your body. Bring your left hand up by your left shoulder, sink a little more and turn a little more, then thrust behind yourself with your left fingertips. Next, turn the right palm up, bring your left hand close to your left ear. Step back weightlessly with your right foot. Number 4, shift your weight onto the right side and sink. Pick up your left heel. Push forward with your left palm, right hand comes to the hip. Okay, let's do that again. We look like this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. When you step back for number 3, where should you step? You should not step behind yourself. You should step out away from your body to the side. Furthermore, you should make that a kind of a 2-stage step. Okay, when you bring the foot back, bring it in right next to the other foot. Okay, that gives you an instant to check your balance. Then it also tells you that you're going to just not keep going back, but you're going to step out a little bit. Okay, again, 1, 2, centered, step out, 3, 4. So when you get your weight shifted back on number 4, your feet are not lined up. You have that space between your feet that's required for stability. You need to do that all the time. It's a kind of kind of a waddle move. We're not stepping back, okay? We're stepping out and back, like the way a duck walks, okay? You're going from side to side to a degree, and that's because we're looking for stability. Okay, one more time, then we'll move on to the next posture. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Questions about that one? Make sure that you let me know what those questions might be. Okay, so after we do step back and repulse the monkey, we're going to do deflect, intercept, and punch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Deflect, intercept, and punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's complicated. You're doing a lot. What you're doing, well, the name of it says it all: deflect, intercept, and punch. You're deflecting incoming punches by doing a ward off. Remember, a ward off is just a redirection of something coming toward you. Most of the time it goes upwards. Most of the time it's with your forearm. But there are times when we can say we're deflecting using our hands or other body parts. So what's happening, we're bringing our arms up and then back. Okay. Then we're going to bring everything up and we're going to end up in a position that looks like this. Looks like this, either way. Same idea. What we're going to do now is to use this arm out here to push somebody else's arm. It would be pushed up here in this area. And as we pushed it away, we'd hold it there. And as we hold it there, we can step in. And because their arm is up out of the way, we can do a job on their rib cage. Okay. So what we're really doing is doing a couple of circles and blocking arms all the time. So we'll look at this. Okay, let's see, let's do it this way. No, this is better. Okay, we're coming over the top, stepping back and sweeping. Okay, turning up, turning out and pushing, stepping up and punching. Okay. You've heard me say that Tai Chi spends a lot of time going in circles. We're doing exactly that because the circles give us the opportunity to make somebody go in a different direction. Okay, the circles are pure defensive. At the end of that, though, there's a straight punch that is very direct and very forceful. Okay, so let's go to step back and repulse the monkey and do the segue into deflect, intercept, and punch. This one is confusing, maybe more than most of them. So we're going to look at it from several different ways. Okay, so let's do deflect, step back and repulse the monkey. Back, step, shift and push. Thrust, step, shift and push. Left hand goes high as you step back. Shift and sink and sweep your hand. Bring them high over the top, pick up the foot, turn the body, sink. Shift the weight, turn to the side. Step, shift the weight, and punch. You're punching past this open left arm, the one that you used to push. Okay, let's see if we can do this in reverse position. Okay, I'm going to start with the step back and repulse a monkey. Back, step, back, step, hands over the top, shift, turn, punch. Okay, let's slow it down and pick on the pieces. Each part of it is going to involve a shift of your weight, mostly. Nothing is always or never, okay? So mostly every movement involves a shift of your weight, except there's one or two times when you're really adjusting your hands. Okay, so let's go all the way back to hand strum the lute. Okay. In fact, why don't we start with hand strum the lute? We ended up with brush knee and push, so we look like this. So hand strum the lute, 1, 2, 3. Step back and repulse the monkey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Deflect, intercept, and punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Confused? Not surprising. Let's take it from the top. Preparation. Initiation. Grasping the bird's tail. Single whip. Wave hands like clouds. Brush knee and push. Hand strum the lute. Step back and repulse the monkey. Okay. When you're turning your body, unless you have your weight sunken on the correct side, it's going to be a little more difficult because you don't have the other side freed up to turn easily. And when you turn, for the most part, it's all about your torso. It's about your hip structure. If you can turn your body easily, then you're going to be okay if you're turning them with your hips. If your weight is in the wrong position, you don't get the amount of turn. So get your weight way over on the bubbling well and sink and pick up the other toes. If you do that, just turning your hips is going to turn your toes. And you need those toes to come along so that you're ready for whatever comes next. Okay. Let's take a look at those last three again. Let's go to the end of brush, knee, and push. Okay. 1, 2, 3. At this point, all your weight is back on the left side. Fingers and toes are pointed up. Step back and repulse the monkey. 1, 2. Step to center, step out forward. Shift and sink. Push. Sink a little bit and turn. Sink a little more and turn a little more. Thrust behind yourself. When you're in this position, your body should be facing to the side. It should face the camera or exactly away from the camera, because you get the power by the turning of your body. So you're going to step back. Then you're shifting your weight back and your body is still turned until that last moment when you pull with one hand and push with the other at a high rate of speed. You need to remember that although we do this in a very slow and controlled manner, it's still a system of self-defense and would be executed very, very rapidly. But at the same time, you're supposed to be relaxed mentally and physically, right? So that means that you have to have mental control going on. You've got a bunch of jobs to do just to do a Tai Chi form, just to do the choreography. And what you have to do is to be thinking very seriously about what's coming up immediately, and maybe planning a couple of moves ahead so that you know that what you have coming up and that your body is in the right set of positions. As a matter of fact, that's your job from the very first moment that you start. You have to understand what's going on in terms of planning. You have to carry out those instructions in a very precise and delicate kind of manner. Okay, let's do it again. Preparation. Initiation. Grasping the bird's tail to the right. Step out. Lock up. Invert the hands. Pray. Release. Prepare to press. Pick up the left toes and turn. Press. Pull down. Push. Single whip. Double-handed wipe. Hook. Step to the side. Shift the weight. Pick up the right toes. Bring them along. Push. Wave hands like clouds. Shift and sink. Sweep. Make sure your toes come forward. Shift weight, shift hands. Turn the body, push. Step, shift weight, shift hands. Turn the body, push. Closing step, shift weight, shift hands. Pick up the right toes, turn the body, push. Rush knee and push. 1, 2. Step sideways. 3, 4. Pick up the right toes, push. Hands strum the loop. 1, 2, 3. Step back and repulse the monkey. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Deflect, intercept, and punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. When you finish that punch, see where my arm is, I end up contacting my arm just in front of my elbow. Not up here, not on here. And ideally, my teacher would have preferred that it stay about an inch away, but I'm lazy, so I just make sure that I touch my arm so I know where it is. Okay. It's 11:24 and almost time for a grand finale. So we've taken a look at 9 of the 12 postures in these first 3 weeks. Next week, we'll do the last 3. And then the last couple of weeks, we'll try to tune everything in just a little tighter and, try to get you a little more comfortable with the various postures. Again, the basics are really important. You have to know where your weight is. You have to be able to find your bubbling well and sink so you can balance correctly. You need to be able to relax. You need to consciously relax your shoulders, consciously bend your knees, tuck your tailbone, and make sure that your center of gravity is moved forward just a little bit. You need to be able to understand that we do things in a kind of a delicate manner. We step out and find the floor, then flow our weight over onto that new side so that we can do other stuff. Tai Chi is a gentle exercise, and even when you're using it for self-defense, you need to remain relaxed. That's kind of an oxymoron, you would think, because when you're fighting, you generally are full of tension. But this is a mind game as well as physical. If you're relaxed, you can react faster than if you're not relaxed. So you need to be relaxed in general. Always a good idea. Okay, just a reminder, you may reach me via email. You may reach me via my website. Reach out if you have questions. Don't be afraid. What else? Time for the grand finale. Wuji positions, everyone. And begin. There we go. Last order of business is to bow out. So go to the Wuji position. Your head is upright, your chin is tucked toward your body, shoulders are relaxed and rounded. Tuck your tailbone, bend your knees, feet are close together with all your toes pointed forward. Left hand becomes a little palm, right hand becomes a fist. Left foot is a point step. Hold the left hand over the right fist. Keep your eyes up as you bow. We're done. Thanks for your time, everybody. I'll stick around a couple of minutes if you want to unmute and communicate. I'm available. Meanwhile, the class is done. See you next week.
Thank you, Don.